Did you know the voice actor who has played Master Chief in every Halo game to date is more famously known as Steve Downes, an American rock radio DJ dating back to the 1970s? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast lights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 18. My name's Gareth Briley. I am your host, and our guest today on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. Hi, James.
Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
And on my virtual right is Mr. Neil Watson. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm quite upbeat. Feel quite upbeat.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of it is.
Yeah. Give it 5 minutes, and then they would just sink into a mire of misery. Valentine's Day tomorrow. Or today, if you listen to it. What are you doing, James?
Or yesterday, if you listen to it on Saturday.
Or last year, if you're a bit behind.
I'll probably spend it with Netflix.
Ah,
Me and Netflix all day together.
Sweet Netflix. Yes.
How is Netflix? Is she all right?
Really good.
Or he all right?
Or he, yeah. Could be.
Always expanding.
Good.
I don't want to know.
No, I don't know that. That's what about you, Neil?
It's just another day, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. Good.
I should have said that.
Are you going out?
Answer.
You going out with your partner anywhere?
No, 20 odd years, 20 years, 21 years, something like that. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. But then, to be fair, we didn't really celebrate Valentine's Day on the first year or the second year either. So, no, we're not doing anything.
You set the standard early on.
Yeah. That's the way it should be.
Me and my partner, we went out for dinner for Valentine's Day about 11 years ago, and we went to this place and it was awful. And the couples were all there. And I think I've said this before. It was like people were visiting each other in prison, sort of staring at each other across tables with nothing to say. And it was like, no, we can't do this again.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's hard.
Yeah.
But
and if I was to go out,
yeah.
I certainly wouldn't do it on Valentine's Day because the prices must go up.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, they must at least double.
Yeah.
So you just do it another day. Christ, it's just because somebody's told you it's Valentine's Day, it doesn't mean that's the only day you can go out or whatever, is it?
Do it every day.
Do it every day.
Or no days.
That's the message. Well, no days, yeah. What have you been doing this week, you two? Anything fun? James, do anything?
Well, I've been trying to survive the storm.
Storm? What was the storm called?
Kira?
Kira, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was felt weird, but I think it's Kira. It's been quite windy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you two have coped with it, but...
Well, it's harder for you up north.
Everything's hard up north. You have a hard life.
It's all grim up north.
Yeah.
Well, how bad was it where you are?
I think the winds were up to about 70, 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
In certain places around there was flooding.
Yeah.
Trees were down. Fencing panels.
Wow.
It's chaos.
Good time to be a fencer.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
I've noticed the prices have gone up all week because we need a new fence. And we looked on Tuesday and it was a certain price. And now it's gone up by a couple of quid.
Oh, you should have said I have family in the fencing industry.
Oh.
But they wouldn't go up north. It's about 300 miles is a bit too far, really, isn't it?
It's just a bit quite expensive for delivery.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All I think in my head is like swords when I think of fencing. That's what I kept thinking of. Neil's family, big fencers.
Go to the Olympics and everything.
Yeah. Great. Well, you got another storm coming this way. Storm Dennis this weekend.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. So good luck with that.
Thanks. If we don't hear from me next week,
we know
I was taken by Dennis.
That's another Valentine's Day. But Neil, what have you been doing this week?
I went out in the storm on my bike. just because Tailwind is really good for Strava personal records. So I went out into the forest and broke some records and nearly fell off my bike a few times.
Like a storm chaser, you are.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow, it's like the beat.
Think about that. I had a mate that was a storm chaser once. Actually, he went over to America and went into the eye of the storm and followed tornadoes around and stuff like that. He loved it.
Let's get him on. What are we doing? Talking about games. Let's get
Where's
storm
Neil?
chasers. This is madness. Now, did you hear about the flight that came over from New York and it broke the record because of the storm?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Wow.
That was mad, wasn't
I think
it?
it was going 800.
Hour and something ahead of schedule?
Yeah, it was like under 5 hours, wasn't it? 4 hours and 56 minutes or something.
I can't believe we got more coverage than your records, Neil.
I know. But that was just a one-off, though. Longer term, it'd be me and my bike that will be all over the news. In actual fact, it will be because I just got a place in Ride London for this year, and which, if obviously people that don't cycle wouldn't know about it, but it's like the biggest cycling event in the country. And I think it's about 25,000 cyclists all hit London, closed roads.
Yes.
All the residents of London no doubt complain about it like you, Gareth.
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can do it for the marathon and let runners
No, it's
do
good.
it,
It's on a Sunday. It's fine. It's always on a Sunday, so it's fine. Yeah.
It is on a Sunday, yeah. But I missed out first time round in like the ballot because there's normally about 80,000 people apply to get in. And obviously with only 25,000 places, it's kind of potluck if you get a space. So I decided to go the charity route, and I will be riding for Special Effect this year.
Brilliant. Oh, that's good. So maybe we can do something on the podcast when you've got it up and running. We can say you can give the details.
There will be a Just Giving page, and yes, I expect wallets to be opened and money to come my way. Well, not my way, but Special Effects.
That sounds a bit dodgy.
Yeah, okay, forget about the scam.
Send it to me as well.
Let's just clarify. It will be Special Effect getting it.
It will certainly be Special Effect, and I'll have a Special Effect cycling jersey as well. So
nice.
It's all official and stuff.
Maybe we could do a live podcast from the bike on the day. I don't know how that would work.
Maybe not.
Oh.
No, I might have other things on my mind, to be honest, like hills and dodging idiots that are on other bikes and just basically getting around 100 miles or 160 kilometres of cycling, really.
Well done, Neil.
You should live stream it on a GoPro or something.
Yeah. Oh,
the problem with that is I've considered doing this before, and you can stick a GoPro on your helmet and be done with it, but the batteries on those only last like 3-4 hours tops, maybe.
You better be quick then.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's 160 kilometres, and if you're doing, I don't know, I can normally do about 30k average, but drop it down to 25k average. You're looking at 7 hours or so, aren't you, to do it?
Yeah.
And the batteries just run out on the camera, so what's the point? I could do half of it.
Do half of it.
Yeah.
Get two GoPros and then switch the other one on afterwards.
Do you know how much GoPros are?
What,
I suppose I could get an extra battery.
Yeah, do that.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah. Right, this week I tried to get a Nintendo Switch because I thought I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch, and I went to the stores, Game and a few others, and they were sold out as they always seem to be. But they said we can't imagine any more in because of the virus in China.
Really?
Yeah, it's stopping. They're a bit worried about it stopping. I don't know if this is true. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of me. But they said, we're worried about whether it's going to be there because it's all the transports and
That's mad.
I think I'm doing it as a pinch of salt. But that was interesting. It really made me think about all that stuff about if China gets more, if things get more economically, they shut down. There's a lot of parts for a lot of things gaming wise that come from China, aren't there? Like new consoles as well.
Yeah.
Would you be interested?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because you've got to contain it. It's a virus, haven't you?
Yeah.
It gets worse. It's already pretty bad.
Yeah.
Why are you getting a Switch now? I know you've spoken about getting a Switch.
I don't know. I fancied
for
it
ages, haven't you?
Yeah, I fancied it. I don't know, but
to play what?
I don't know.
Pokemon.
I don't know. Something.
Oh yeah,
Pokemon,
yeah.
Pokemon. I quite fancy doing the Zelda game. I quite fancy a couple of things, but maybe I don't want it. Actually, I don't want it. You put me off. You asked that question. Thank God. No, I'm not going to say thank God of the virus. That's terrible. But thank God they were out of stock.
The Switch is brilliant. I have to say that.
Okay.
But it's no Xbox.
No. I won't get one. You persuaded me on here, which is great. Right, let's move on. Let's do some questions. Now, every episode, we ask our guests some in-depth questions so I can get together a psyche of their personalities in a little folder I've got here, imaginary. So, you ready, you two? Yes, you are.
Yes. This folder's quite expansive now, I guess.
It's really expansive, yeah.
What have you learned about us?
Well, I know that James is strange. I know Neil is a bit stranger. That's it. That's all I've got so far. Yeah. Dark things.
That's quite a nice way to put it.
It is very nice.
I'll take it.
Before we go and do that, James, every week we have a Korean, because James is learning Korean. So what have we got this week?
Well, in honour of the Oscars and Parasite winning 4 awards, I've gone for Yeonghwa, which is movie.
Movie. Can you say it again?
Yeonghwa.
Yeonghwa.
Yeah.
Yeonghwa movie. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Right.
Have you seen Parasite or not?
I haven't, but I literally just booked my tickets to go and see it.
Oh,
in the cinema. It's finally coming to. Well, it's only coming to a few cinemas, but it's finally come to a few over here. I'm looking forward to it. It does look a really interesting film.
What is it? I don't know anything about it. I'd never even heard of it until the other night.
Well, people seem to think it's a horror film because of the name, but it's not. It's like a dark comedy.
Oh, I'm not interested then. Don't do comedies.
It's basically about a poor family that infiltrates the lives of a rich family. And it's interesting. It's about the social classes and difference between the two, and it sounds like a really good film. And I probably aren't selling it very well.
You can report back on it next week.
I will. I would definitely.
Good.
I think the fact it got 4 Oscars probably sells it a bit more than you on this podcast.
Yeah, that will help.
Yeah. All right, I finally saw Joker at last, way before anyone else. Neil's seen it before me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought he was brilliant. He deserves everything he gets. That was great. Right.
But did you go along the same lines as me? There wasn't enough killing.
I'm not going to say that in public. I'll let you just say
No,
that.
you can say it. It's a film. It's not real life.
No, I didn't think that was right. I think the killing was pretty gruesome, what he did. I didn't want
It
any
was
more.
well timed, the killing. I thought it perfectly.
Yeah.
Amount of killing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and watch Birds of Prey and see how that stacks up.
Good.
Enjoy.
Good. Right, questions, you two.
Let's do it.
What was your favourite childhood book and why? James, can you remember?
Oh, now you're asking.
Yeah.
A Jolly Postman.
What's it?
A Jolly Postman.
A Jolly Postman. Right.
Yeah, it was like a pop-up book, and it had a letter in it. It was really bizarre back in the day, but I vaguely remember it. It was like a Jolly Postman.
That's brilliant that you can remember a pop-up book. I can remember that. So it had a letter in it.
Yeah, like at the back, you got the letter was the last thing that you opened. I think.
What was the story?
Not a clue now. I presume it was about a postman delivering a letter. And he was very happy.
Yeah, he's jolly.
I have got it somewhere, but it'll take me a while to find it.
Yeah.
Just take my word.
Okay. The Jolly Postman. Anyone else has heard from the Jolly Postman? Please let us know. Neil, any ones you want to think of?
Was he very jolly?
I think he was. He was really jolly.
Neil, what have you got?
I'm not a big reader.
No.
But I did used to read a lot of. Is it? Oh, no, it's not Final Fantasy. Fighting Fantasy. That's it. Fighting Fantasy.
What's that?
Remember those books from? Oh, what are their names? Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone.
I do remember them now. Yeah. Wow. That's
were they like kind of a create your own adventure?
Yeah,
type
choose your own adventure, weren't they?
That's it. Yeah,
So
And you'd read a page and then go to page 83 and then go back to page 22 and such and such and such. Used to love them. You
used to have choices, didn't you? So it would say,
yeah.
If you want to go down this well, turn to 86. If you decide to go to the door, 24. Oh, yes. You used to read a lot of that.
Death Trap Dungeon. That was my favourite one. I've just Googled it now. Fighting fantasy books. Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone. They were the ones.
Wow.
Would I read them now? Not a chance in hell.
I think we should read one out live.
Okay.
And get James and me to do the choices to see if we survive. That's a special.
Special podcast.
Can't wait for
that one. Good.
But no, I did used to like them. Other than that, not really.
That's good. That's a good answer, both of you. I'm going to go for Watership Down. I read that a lot when I was sort of 6 or 7, back to front. I loved it, and I recently read it again. Well, I say recently, that 10 years ago, and because kid books are quite jolly, aren't they? There's not one laugh in Watership Down. I don't think there's one comedy moment.
It's worse than Joker, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
There's much killing in it.
Yeah. A lot of death.
Not enough velocities like him.
Right, that was good. I like that first answer. Right, number 2. This is a bit darker on the Joker line. If you discovered that your 1-year-old baby child, right, so you got a 1-year-old baby child.
We can't go here.
Yeah, was not yours due to a mix-up at the hospital, would you give it back and swap over?
Would you give it back?
All right. Would you give Louise? Let's call Louise back. Would you
can't name them as well. You get too personal now.
That's all right. That's the whole point. It's Louise, little Louise, 1-year-old Louise, but Louise isn't yours. The real Louise is with the Joneses, and there's been a mix-up. The hospital said, what are you gonna do, James? What would you do?
Instant swap back.
Why?
Oh, he's not my child.
But you've brought up this 1-year-old child.
But we have nothing in common.
You have done for a year.
No, I can't be having that. No, Louise goes back.
Like a refund. This is like one of your bloody your collectibles.
Yeah, a refund or a swap.
A swap.
Whichever.
Take a refund or a swap. Okay. What about you, Neil?
I really haven't got a clue.
Shall I tell you what?
I just don't know, because I would say no, just carry on regardless. Yeah. But then then, don't you, in the back of your mind, what's happened to the other one that is really yours? Yeah. Like in 10 years' time or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like your questions.
I like it because it really is. It does play with it because you're thinking I would carry on, but you would have those thoughts. But I think you just got to get rid of those thoughts because you brought up this kid for a year, haven't you?
A year isn't. I don't know if a year is too bad. If it was like 10 years, what would I do then?
Okay,
that'd be worse.
So a year's not bad to say.
No, 10 years. You'd think about it for a bit longer if it was 10 years.
You wouldn't.
Oh, well, they'd go, okay, swap.
What's the Amazon refund policy, James? Does that last for 10 years? I know you like a bit of Amazon replacements.
I think it's 28 days.
28 days.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, and that's faster than, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. I like that. Question number 3, you two. Have you ever seen a ghost, a UFO, or anything out of the ordinary? Neil.
Yes.
Oh, do you want to talk about it? What it was?
No. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, go on. Yes, please. Yeah.
I saw a ghost when I was probably about 8, and I woke up in the middle of the night, looked out my bedroom window, and there was an old house across the road which nobody lived in, and there was a face in the window. And then I saw another one about 3 years ago in my brother's new house. Didn't know anything about it. We were all kind of sat around in his lounge, and we were all chatting like the whole family. There's about 10 of us there, maybe. And I just looked up and looked at my brother's wife, and she looked at me and said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "Yes." And something went past the door. And then we were chatting about it, and it turned out that they had been hearing voices and banging and stuff like that previous to this, and they'd never mentioned it to me at all. So I wasn't there to kind of know anything about it. But yeah, and then it was a bit weird.
When you were a kid,
But they were renting that house at that time. They bought the house shortly after. As soon as they bought it, everything stopped.
Oh wow! Didn't like it being rented. The ghost.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really weird.
It's definitely weird.
When you were a kid and you saw the face across the road in the house, was the face looking at you?
It was looking out the window,
but not at you.
Me, I don't think it was looking at me. No.
And what did the face look like?
I'd never slept again ever.
Can you remember what the face looked like?
It was just like a ghostly face. Maybe I've been watching rubbish on telly. I don't know.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
This was back in the early 80s, so there are only 4 channels on the telly. I couldn't have been watching that much rubbish.
Yeah. Rent a Ghost. Rent a Ghost.
Yeah, it's pretty much Rent a Ghost. Yeah.
James, what about you?
No, never seen a ghost. Never seen a UFO. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing at all.
Nothing's really out of the ordinary up north. Everything's a bit weird. So,
just outside your house is just ghosts having conversations where you just think it's normal. Just going around Bigfoot's in the garden.
He don't open the werewolves. He never looks outside.
The vampires run the local cafe. It's fine. Only opens at night. Good, I like it. Right, thank you very much.
What about you?
Oh, well, I've got a ghost in our kitchen. I've chatted about before. So we have weird things that happen. It hasn't happened for a few months, but things like normal things like we go into the kitchen and all the cabinet doors are open. That happens quite a lot. Pair of scissors suddenly appear in the middle of the floor, stuck into
this.
The
That's
floor.
quite scary, isn't it? Really.
A knife suddenly in the bedroom. A can of dog food on the toilet. Yeah, it's kind of really strange little tricks. I don't mind it, but Bernadette is a bit more scared of it than me.
And so. How many bottles of gin do you 2 drink a week?
A lot, yeah. Yeah, we like our ghosts. I like the ghosts. Good company. You got to have company in London. Yeah.
There's plenty of people in London.
Yeah, there is. Well, I know this one. It's my little ghost. Good.
Have you named him?
No. It could be a her. We don't know. We just don't know.
Right. Yeah, my brother, you see, he named it. I think he named it John. I don't know why John.
I like John.
My middle name.
John the Ghost.
Quite scary.
If you want to write in on YouTube and give me a name for our ghost, please do. Yeah. Right.
Or even tell us if you have a ghost.
That's a better one. That's better than naming my ghost. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. We don't want to name your ghost. But what about UFOs and stuff like that? Ghosts?
No. Nothing. No. I'm going to move on. I'm looking at the time.
Here he goes already.
We're going to do
10 minutes.
We're going to do Would You Rathers quickly. Neil, here's yours. Quick answers. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
I would. No, I don't want to believe everything I'm told. No. I lose the ability to lie. I don't lie an awful lot.
Oh, that's good though.
I'm quite good about that.
Good. I think I know the answer to this one. Would you rather have a Lamborghini in your garage or a bookcase with 9,000 books and infinite knowledge?
Oh, 100% bookcase, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
No.
The Lamborghini.
Not at all.
Okay.
Although I don't even know about a Lamborghini. So,
well, that's the only choice you got.
I did do a supercar circuit day thing a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lambo was nice, but it wasn't like the Ferrari. That really tried to kill me, basically.
Good. Right.
Yeah.
Next one. Would you rather eat your dead friend? Okay, there you go. Would you rather eat your dead friend or kill your dog and eat it if you're marooned on a lonely island?
I would. So I've got to. Oh, so I don't have to kill my friend.
No, you just got to eat your dead friend.
Oh yeah, that's easy enough. Yeah.
That's easy enough.
But I'd have to kill the dog.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that.
No. So eating your dead friend. Good.
Yeah.
Remember that. Right, James. These are
Easy.
yours.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Dead friend. Yeah, easy. Any day.
Not even a decision to make.
I sort of half alive I go for. If he's sort of on the way, start eating.
Not even bothered about that. They could be completely healthy.
Yeah, just a slight nap. He's just closed his eyes for a moment. That's that, chewing on the neck.
Had a fly in his eye.
Yeah.
That's it. Right, you'll go on, bang.
Right, James. For your birthday, would you rather receive cash or gifts?
Cash. Always cash.
I knew that. Would you rather have X-ray vision or magnified hearing?
Ooh, X-ray vision. Because my hearing's pretty good anyway.
But you can hear anything. All right,
Yeah,
that's a good choice.
I'm like Superman.
Here's another
I
one.
I can hear miles away.
Good. Would you rather have a 10-hour dinner with a headstrong politician from an opposing party, opposing views to yours, whatever they are, or attend a 10-hour concert for a music group you hate?
A concert for a music group that I hate.
Who would that group be?
Spice Girls.
Okay, good. 10 hours of Spice Girls.
You don't hate the Spice Girls.
I do.
You'll be saying you hate S Club 7 next.
And they can't S Club 7.
No.
They've got a special place in my heart. Really good old days.
Good.
For the S Club 7.
Thank you for the questions. I've made these notes. I'm moving on now.
You're thanking yourself for the questions?
Yes, I'm always thanking myself for the questions.
Sad.
Games. 27 minutes into a podcast. Let's talk about games.
No, more cycling.
What have you been playing, you two? It must have been. It's still slightly a bit empty, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's always something to find.
Yep.
And I found a real gem of a game this week.
Oh, I like what you did there, James.
I know. You know what's coming.
Gems of War 5.
I wish. No, it's a match 3 game though. It's called Rune Lord. And basically you match gems to 7 points. That's basically the game.
Is it like a fruit machine? Is that what it is?
No. Nothing like a fruit machine.
But say that people
it's like Candy Crush.
Oh, okay, right, good.
But with runes and gems and spells, and it's more fantastical. Yeah, it's just 60 levels of matching gems.
Wow.
What more could you ask for?
What more can you ask for in those cold winter nights?
It's cheap as well.
How much?
I think £5.79.
Oh.
You get a good, 10 hours out of it, if you're lucky.
Good.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Good.
Better than most of the stuff out this week.
I won't be playing it, but I hear your recommendation.
You should.
Sound like a threat then. You should.
You will.
You will.
Next.
Neil, what about you?
Nothing new, to be honest. I completed Glass Masquerade 2, which I spoke about last week, and I put my review live. Gave it 3.5 out of 5, and I can confirm it's not £15 like James said it was. It's only a tenner.
Okay.
So
I apologise.
For a tenner, it's worth a go. But other than that, no, I've just been playing the same things as I was before. So that, PUBG. I want to go back to Grid. Season 2's out now of the new content, so I'll probably hit that up. But no, nothing major really.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I've been playing 7th Sector, which I did. I think reviews up on the site. Have a look at that. I think I gave it 4. And Seventh Sector is a really unusual game. It's like it was made by one artist, one developer, and he set this idea. It's like you're basically a spark of energy, so it's almost like you're the ghost in the machine. So it's set in this kind of dystopian, almost like communist kind of country, and you're this kind of figure in a TV screen, like like in the interference on the TV screen, and then you fly out of there and go down the wires of electricity. So that's how you're controlling the game. First of all, this little spark of electricity that goes along the wires, and then you could swap to another wire. So you're like a platform. You're going on a little journey, but then you come up against puzzles that you need to get further. Like you need to switch switches on, and these puzzles are kind of range and stuff of. There's things that you'd have to do, things like like in Countdown, the program, when they do the number round.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to get 220, and you've got these numbers. How do you do it? That happens.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the puzzles can get really, really tricky, and they're very.
Have you got Rachel Riley whispering in your ear and Carol Vorderman whispering in the other ear?
In my daydreams, I have. Yes.
But not in Seventh Sector.
No, in Seventh Sector, no.
It's a bit darker than that, isn't it?
I'm thinking about that now. Yeah, it's a bit darker than that. But at the same time, the story is sort of playing out in the background. Like those games like we've talked about, but like Inside, when you play a game like Inside, you're travelling on and all this story is going on around you with kind of visuals and shadows and some really clever puzzles that I just don't want to say in case anyone plays it. And really hard, especially towards the latter levels, it becomes really tricky. And you can look stuff up in playthroughs, but it's one of those things that you do it, but the puzzle will be different for every person who's played it. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can't.
I was watching your Let's Play actually.
It's alright,
it looked very interesting.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. There's some bits when you kind of control other things without spoiling anything, and that gets a bit annoying. But it's a very nice game. I would give that a go. It's a bit more expensive than normal. It's $19.99. I think that's worth it, but I would probably wait till it goes down.
It's a bit expensive to take a punt on.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it should. I think it will. I think it's worth what the amount of work they've put in. But I think most people would wait till it's like £10 or something, and then they give it a go.
Yeah.
And of course, another thing I played, it keeps playing. I'm still going through the campaign for Modern Warfare, which we talked about.
Hurry up!
It's so good, but they've just, and they just had they've done a sort of. When I loaded it up the other day, they had a sort of cutscene that before you went to the main menu, and I think there was a cutscene. I think they were sort of hinting at a battle royale mode coming in with this next.
There is battle royale in it already.
There is at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came in at launch, didn't it?
Have you actually played this game?
No, it didn't. It hasn't come in at launch. I know this. Battle
Yes,
Royale.
it did.
Look up now. Say Battle Royale Modern Warfare. You're thinking about the last one. The last one was just a Battle Royale game.
I mean, I'm more inclined to believe Neil.
Yeah, I know
you are.
But generally, I am right on the podcast. I'm not right in normal life.
Wrong.
Yeah. Normally, when it comes down to when I hear people listening, I'm right. But actually, off the mic, I'm always wrong.
How does that work?
I don't know. I suddenly got superpowers when I'm on the mic. Have you found it out?
Hang on. Just keep talking amongst yourselves. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm really still loving that cover. You've got to play it, James. You've got to get it. It's really good.
I'm alright, thanks. I think my Moon Lord.
Oh my word! You got.
I finished it.
You got to play something. I thought you were going to play some of the older games again. Your big backlog.
I know, but these gem games just keep enticing me.
That's words I never thought I could hear. Right, I'm going to move on.
Sorry, I've failed in my.
I'm right. I just know I'm right.
I don't think you are right.
I'm 100% right.
I think Gareth's right.
Yes, I do.
Take the loss on this one, Neil.
Yeah, thank you, John. Right.
Oh, yeah, it's called Warzone. Modern Warfare Battle Royale Warzone.
And when's it coming? Soon, isn't it?
No, soon.
Yeah.
Soon, just like you said.
Right, we're going to move on to now.
Never.
Last Monday, I went for us to the Wired Showcase events, and it was in a Monday morning in this little office, and I had a look at 3 games, and I think we've got an article coming out about those 3 games. And the first one was called The Falconeer, which is a Xbox first game coming out later this year. And the second one's called Those Who Remain. Have I got that right? Those Who Remain. You two got to help me out.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. And the third one is called Deliver Us the Moon. And Deliver Us the Moon and the Falconeer, we're going to have interviews. I met the developers, and we're going to have interviews with them in the next couple of weeks. But for the moment, we've got an interview with Ricardo that I did about Those Who Remain. So let's have a quick listen to that now. Hello. First of all, let's introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hello. I'm Ricardo from Camel 101, and I'm here to talk a bit about Those Who Remain.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the question everyone has. Can you pitch me first of all the game? How would you pitch it to me?
Okay, I would probably describe it as a psychological thriller. That's not really a horror game, and it has 2 unique main mechanics that kind of set it apart from the rest.
And it's a first-person game, isn't it? And it's what happens? How do you start? What's the premise to begin with?
Okay, yeah, it's a first-person game. It's very dark, and it starts when the main character, who's Edward, he's in a very dark place. He kind of had a perfect life, and then he made a few bad choices, and everything went off rails. So the game starts when he's in a room drinking and looking at the gun. And then he gets a text message from his lover asking to meet him in a motel.
And then what happens then?
And when he gets to the motel, he doesn't find anyone, and everything's dark. And
then the game begins.
Yeah, and then the game begins.
Now, first of all, you said you don't want to describe it as a horror game, more of a thriller.
Yeah.
Is that right? Why is that? What's that difference?
Because we didn't make the game based on jump scares. We're not fans of jump scares, of loud noises and stuff just appearing right in front of you and screaming. We tried to create an atmosphere that's scary by itself. So there's always a constant danger around the player, but it's almost always expected. So that kind of creates the tension all the time.
And what's your kind of influences, game or film or TV or books for this game?
The 3. But the main influences are actually movies and the shows. I would say Twin Peaks, Stranger Things, and a bit of The Fog, and a few other Stephen King novels.
all good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these kind of these really interesting mechanics in the game, first of all, that you developed for this.
Yeah. So the first main mechanic is that the player can't go into the dark. There are some strange, mysterious creatures there that will attack and kill Edward if he approaches. So the player always needs to find a light source. It can be a lamp, fire, a spotlight, everything that can clear a path through the dark. And the second mechanic is that the player needs to travel through a different reality, which works like a copy of our own world. It's a bit like the Upside Down on Stranger Things. And the actions that happen in one world have a direct effect on the other. So, for example, the player might find a closed door, and then he travels through the other reality. He opens the door there, and when he gets back, the door is open. This is just one example. So the game is built around these two main mechanics. and we try to create nice puzzles with the suit.
And that's kind of one of the things about the game. Is it's a puzzle game as well. Quite when you're trying to solve how to work with light and those two realities.
Yeah, I would probably describe it as a first-person adventure game with some puzzle elements.
And I'm always really, when I play like a first-person adventure game, what I'm always love is the kind of artwork and the bits I've seen as well. When you get something like a document that they find, and I saw maybe like a hotel register, how do you go about kind of recreating that?
We spent a lot of time just looking at pictures, at movies, and registering the kind of environments that we want to have in the game. So it involves a lot of research, just looking at stuff before we actually start creating the environment.
And story-wise, it's it's a big part of the game as well. Did you work with a writer? Did you write yourself, or how did that work?
I'm actually the writer. I write the main script, and then I show it to the rest of the team, and I get their opinions and input, and then I kind of work from there. Yeah.
Good input as well. They're really. There's a good team behind you as well.
Yeah.
Sound-wise and voiceover-wise, how did you go about working with you?
The first thing that we decided is that we didn't want to have music in the game because it can break the atmosphere. So we put a lot of effort into all the sound effects and the atmosphere. So we brought two other guys. They're like two sound effect magicians, and they did all the sounds in the game, and they did a great job. The sound is really something.
And when are you thinking about releasing, roughly?
It should be released around late March, early April, probably. For PC, Xbox One and PS4, and the Switch version is coming a few months later.
And Switch, how is that? Is it easy to take a game like this into Switch?
I actually don't know because another studio is doing the port for the Switch, but I guess it's not really that easy.
No. But I bet it's quite fun on the Switch as well. A game like that, because there's not many games like that on the Switch.
I've actually seen the game running on the Switch, and it looked really good, but it was only it's one level of the game.
And do you see this as the start of a kind of how long is the game first of all?
The average playthrough should be around 4 to 5 hours. Although I've seen a few people playtesting the game and they played for 8 hours. So it really depends on the player. But we also have 3 different endings. So if the player wants to see everything, it will be a bit longer.
What kind of endings are there?
So along the game, the player has to make a few choices that affect the outcome of other characters. So depending on what he does, he might have a good ending, a bad, or a horrible ending.
A horrible ending.
Really horrible.
I want the horrible ending.
Yeah. It's actually the most fun.
And do you see this as the start of? Have you got in your head where this world can go into more games, possibly?
It's not easy, but it could. It's not easy because there's a big twist in the ending. So that twist obviously couldn't work in a sequel, but it's possible to bring what's going on in this game to another city or to a different country. So it could happen, yeah.
And what's your experience before working with games?
I've been working on games for 11 years or so. So I've released a few games. This one is the first that we're releasing for all the major platforms. So it's a big achievement.
And what's it like writing for a game? Is it a different process to writing?
I've never written a book or anything like it, but I've been writing for games for a long time. It's really fun. You really have to get into the characters and try to understand what the character would do in that scenario. It's a long process because you write stuff and then it doesn't quite fit with the game or see where the game is heading. So you have to go back and write new stuff. But it's really nice. It's one of the most fun parts of the game for me.
And do you start with the mechanics first, or before you start, you say, okay, we've got these mechanics we want to use, and then you write from there, or do you write and then the other stuff comes?
It's kind of a mix. It's interesting because when we started this game, we just had the idea that the player couldn't go into the dark. And then we tried creating a mechanic like that, and we found out that it was a great idea on paper, but it wasn't working on the game. This because it's really hard to explain visually where the light starts getting dangerous, because the light and the dark, it gets gradually darker, so it's not possible. So then we had the idea, what if we have a creature in the dark that kind of explains you can't go here? And then we after we got the idea of a creature, it really ties with the story, and it really explains why these guys are there in the dark. So one thing kind of it pushes the other. Yeah, it was an interesting process.
Ricardo, last question is why should an Xbox or a PlayStation fan play your game?
Why?
It's a hard question.
It is. Well, it's a different game. I know everyone says the same thing, but I feel this game is really different, and it can really absorb you. And the story is, we didn't just want to make another ghost story. We wanted to create a game that could address powerful stuff like bullying, suicide, infidelity, because we want the player to finish the game and to reflect about these issues and how the actions of one person can affect more people. So I feel it's quite an adventure that every player is going to enjoy.
Great, Ricardo. I'm really intrigued. I really look forward to playing it this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
And there you go, that's Ricardo. Yeah, does that make sense to you two now? A little bit more about the game?
Sounds a nice chap.
He's a lovely chap.
Definitely.
I like Ricardo.
I'm glad it's not got any like jump scares in it. I was worried about that. You know, when it's advertised as a horror, I thought, not my kind of thing. But he sold it to me as more of a visual scare, isn't it, rather than a psychological.
It's really interesting at the moment because there's a lot of people, they were really clear about saying it's not a horror game. And there's another game I reviewed recently that they were kind of keen going, it's not a horror game. Which was that one? That was...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
There's a lot of this kind of anti, don't say it's a horror game, it would put people off, I think. So
was it Mosaic? No, it wasn't Mosaic, was it? You didn't do Mosaic.
It was another one, wasn't it? That one, I've forgotten the name. It was one when I'm going around a garden and... we'll think of that. I can't remember.
Going round a garden.
Puzzle game.
Pinata.
It's not a horror game. It's it is a bloody horror game. That game, Jesus.
Lake Ridden. Was it Lake
That's
Ridden?
it, Lake Ridden. Yeah, they were kind of
That's
keen
fun,
in
yeah.
saying it's not a horror.
No gardens in Lake Ridden, just lakes.
Game. Just lakes. There was a garden, nice little garden. Yeah, so it still has got, from I didn't actually get hands on. The developer was just playing it in front of me, 1-on-1, and then I mean, it's still scary. I explained you've got these figures in the shadows, but you can't go into the dark, and it has that kind of scare. But it hasn't maybe got those real horror moments like blood, someone jumps out or clowns into your face or something like that.
But that's good because it immediately makes it more appealing to other people, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
definitely.
you take that bit out. And what he says about Twin Peaks and Stranger Things as well. I've never seen Twin Peaks, I've never seen Stranger Things, but that sells it to people again straight away.
Yeah, and I think that kind of those two realities that you're just swapping between are kind of really interesting and fun to do.
Is that a bit like Silent Hill as well?
It does
Because
fit
in
a little
Silent
bit.
Hill, yeah, that goes into a different world, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and there's a few other that play with that kind of swapping realities and
Yeah.
There's a few platformers that do it, if I remember rightly. I can't remember any of the names of. But it does felt really nice puzzle wise, and they're just trying to find how to light the pathways is kind of interesting. There's kind of one thing you had to kind of find different batteries to turn on these Christmas lights, and then you could get through.
Christmas lights.
Yeah, that's the appeal to you,
now
isn't it? Yeah.
How much did you get to see?
I saw the sort of introduction, and I saw one whole level and a bit of a level later on as well. So I saw some chunks of it. But I liked what I saw.
To see the ending.
Yes, I have got to wait to see. I think there's multiple endings. But it looks really nice. It's Alan Wake, it reminded me of, in a sense, as well, because Alan Wake had that, thing with light. You always had to keep near the light and use light to scare off these shadowy figures. And it had that sense of that world as well, which I really liked. But yeah, that should be coming out soon. Very soon. Will be spring? Yeah, spring's on its way.
It's on my radar now.
Yeah. Do you know anything else you want to say about that? Any other questions you want to ask me? As I'm an expert now.
Well, I'm not sure you're an expert at anything, but
No, there you go. So look out for that, and we're going to do the other two interviews next week and the week after. Anything else that you've seen this past week? The news is still quiet, isn't it?
You say that, but there's some new, a new range of, the ducks, the tubs, collectible ducks.
Yeah.
I know you know this already, Gareth.
Yeah.
You saw them first. You're all over them.
He's got his pre-orders all in.
What are
He's
these
definitely
ducks?
getting Sonic. Well, this time you've got a Sonic. Is it Dr. Robotnik? Or do you call him Dr. Eggman now? I'm not sure.
Eggman?
Whichever.
It's Eggman, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah. I prefer Robotnik. I'm old school.
Right.
And there's the Street Fighter ones.
Is he in the film?
Who?
Eggman.
No idea. Not watching it.
Whatever they call him in the film goes.
Basically, it's Sonic Nemesis.
Yeah.
Let's call him that.
Yeah, that guy.
And then there's some Street Fighter ducks as well. E Honda. Colonel Guile. What more could you ask for?
I hope Ricardo's not listening to this bit after the interview.
Ricardo wants these. I definitely believe Ricardo wants to get these ducks.
Ricardo's saying I've been followed by ducks. I've been working for 4 years on this game. Neil, you excited about the ducks?
Well, I own some ducks already, so I'm excited, possibly not. Interested, yes. I think they look quite cool, the new Rangers.
Okay.
So there's Doom, there's Last of Us, and Resident Evil ones as well.
Yeah.
So it's fairly big names.
Yeah.
Would I buy some more though? Probably not. You know, I've got 4 ducks. They just sit there looking at me.
I guess if
There's
you
no-
use the ducks, or you keep them in the box,
What would you do to use them?
put them in
They're
the bath.
ducks. No, I don't put them in the bath. As I discovered on my unboxing video, they don't float very well. They're very top heavy,
Oh no.
and
Oh.
whilst they don't sink, they don't sit up nicely to kind of float around in a bath.
It's disappointing.
So, yeah, it's best to keep them just as a collectible thing and sit them on the side. But
Okay.
I can live with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Any more news we've seen recently this week, Neil? Anything caught your eye? It's not a lot, is that?
no, not
No.
really. Oh, no, not really. Like I said earlier, the Grid Season 2 stuff's out. So I'll go and play that. I just wish they'd put some more achievements with it. That would have made it a lot better.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's a really strange time at the moment because there's lots of just rumours still, isn't there? PlayStation are kind of gearing up for an announcement of PlayStation 5, aren't they? It seems to be coming. They've put an advert out this week as well. Like a PlayStation, one of those strange PlayStation ads. You've seen it? It's like a really odd, weird, strange horror ad. And you can just see they're gearing up for a big... But they're still waiting, aren't they? They're not gonna put a price there, maybe, till they know Xbox. They're both waiting on each other.
He's gonna turn the
Yeah. It feels like
over first.
we're going to still be doing this for years, I think. It feels like it's just going to go up to the wire. And they're going to go,
Stand now.
yeah, £500 tomorrow. Quick.
what exactly have they said so far then, anyway, PlayStation?
I think they've kind of leaked the website's there, isn't it? I think the website's been out. I don't think it's leaked. I think there's a website for the PlayStation 5 with the logo on.
Yeah,
And
I saw the logo. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that was right,
I think the rumour is everyone's just going, they're going to announce. They were going to sort of like do what Xbox did in December, but they're going to do it very, very soon. Like February, this is the kind of rumour. And I think when that advert came out, people were starting to go, here we go. And now that I think because they've got some exclusives coming up, they've got things to show, like The Last of Us is going to be the next Last of Us 2 is going to be a playable bit of the game's coming to. Is it PAX? There's a game.
PAX East is coming up
That's right, yeah.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so
weeks
that's going to be there to play. So yeah, we'll see. I think there'll be something soon-ish. There's got to be. Could be something. Can't
It
wait
doesn't
for
have to be though, does it? Really, they could just say, right, wait until November. It's coming out tomorrow. Go and buy it.
It depends.
Enjoy.
I agree with you completely, but they want those pre-orders, don't they? They all want those pre-orders, and I think that's the big one, isn't it? About getting those
Pre-orders
pre-orders.
can be cancelled though, can't they?
They can, but it still gives them an intent, doesn't it, of sale as well, to kind of go, okay, we've got 10 billion things pre-ordered. This is what we're going to make.
I think both Microsoft and Sony will know roughly how many pre-orders they're going to get. Don't they? They know. They'll look at the figures and think, right, this kind of subsection play games every day on the Xbox.
Yeah.
They are going to pre-order it no matter what. This other little subsection here, they play every other day. They may pre-order it. These people here, they only play once a month. We're not getting their money. So that they know roughly, don't they?
Yeah.
And the same goes for PlayStation. So, and you're not going to get many people swapping between the two. Who's going to be playing on PS4 now and think, oh, I'm not going to go with PS5. I'm going to go with Series X, or the other way around.
I don't know about that.
You don't play on PlayStation 4, James.
I don't know about
You
it.
own one, but you don't
I
use
think
it.
people are going to look at that package. I think the PlayStation people, there's a lot of PlayStation people who never went to Xbox, who have gone over to Xbox now because it's cheap, but also the reason being Game Pass.
But they've still got a PS4.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But they would.
And I bet that's their platform of choice.
But they
still,
might
isn't
still be going for, what can that offer me? You know, if Xbox Series X come out and they say, okay, with this you're going to get blah 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 blah. You know, you're going to have this Game Pass. You'll have these games on release on Game Pass from day one. You know, on your Game Pass. It's what's PlayStation going to do to have that as well? Are they going to have a huge? Is their lineup going to be better? I think people are still looking at that because I doubt people are going to be able to afford 2 consoles at the same time. Generally people buy one console and they buy their PlayStation or their Xbox 2, 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a big difference. And I think it makes a big difference as too is people might be wavering, especially people who've got 2. Yeah, you're right about if people have got there's PlayStation and the Xbox people who never will change, but there's people who've got both consoles who are going, what should I go for? What's going to be better on day one?
Possibly.
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 We'll find out soon. Now, before we leave, we were chatting like every week recently this year. We've been talking about little features. We've been chatting about last week. We talked about co-op games, and we're going to have a little chat about achievements, Xbox achievements. Now, all 3 of us, we're quite into our achievements, aren't we? Is that fair to say?
A lot less than I used to be.
Right.
But having the ping of an achievement is still good.
It's still good, isn't it? It does feel good.
What's your total gamer score?
Let's start with you, James. What's yours, first of all?
He knows this. He will know this
No, I won't.
to the digit.
No. I mean, it's about 378,000.
422. Yeah, right.
Ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, ish.
Do you know where you are in the world with that figure, James?
No, I haven't looked for a while.
Right.
Because I don't know, because I'm nowhere near where I should be.
Right.
I've played a lot of games, but my gamer score is quite poor in comparison.
Okay. That's a big gamer score, though.
Yeah, but I play a lot of the same games, as you know. It's Rocket League, Gems of War, FIFA. But yeah, I'm going to hit 500,000 this year, I think.
Wow.
I'm going to go for it.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, what's your score?
Gareth?
I really don't know. I think I've got maybe. Have I got 200,000 possibly? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think we're both in the 200,000 mark, aren't we?
Are we? We're both over that, are we?
Yeah.
I'm in good company there, Neil.
Us old guys together.
Yeah,
200,000 club.
But
no, I don't know. I kind of gave up bothering totally. In actual fact, when I hit 100,000, I thought, well, there you go. There's a total. What comes after that just kind of happens, really. And I don't go out of the way really to get achievements. I always look at the achievement list when I'm playing a game, and I like the tracker. That's quite cool. Because you then know, oh yeah, I'm such and such % away from getting a new achievement, so I might take that. But I think when your numbers start getting high, and like in James's case, 380,000?
378,505.
Right, okay. It's when you're adding 10 on at a time or 5 on at a time, it's pointless, isn't it?
But it's interesting because when it started, like when we started from the Xbox 360, it was quite an exciting thing because everyone was almost near on the same plane, weren't they, in the same plane level, and it was about, I need to get higher, used to
Exactly, yeah.
And now it's so, there must be people with 3 million gamer scores, isn't there? Probably at the top.
2 million.
2 million.
Yeah, someone's got 2 million.
And it's quite a massive gap, so you're right, you do lose interest a bit.
But what they have done well is the Gamerscore leaderboard, where they break that down to the monthly things. That's good, because then it doesn't really matter if somebody's got 500,000 or somebody's got 5,000. It's just what they're gathering up in that month then, and that's a nice little kind of.
And that's your friends, isn't it? When they do it,
yeah. Why would you look elsewhere other than your friends? I can care less about somebody else somewhere else.
I thought it might be really nice to do something. I didn't think about how they would move on with the next generation coming. How would you move? I thought, what would it be like if you went, okay, it's your area. It's South. I don't know how the hell they do this. It's Southampton, or it's where James is up in. I forgot where you live, James.
The Grim North.
The Grim North. The Grim North. Morecambe. It's that area.
Anywhere north of Reading.
So you've got this Xbox scores of people there, and is there something in that might be quite fun? So you have a kind of area of the best achievements in there. that has that competition.
Cool. There would be nothing to stop them from sticking like a distance meter on, and you say, right, within 5 miles of my house, within 10 miles of my house, 50 miles of my house, 5 meters of my house, you can battle it out with your next door neighbour.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could do that, and that's quite a good idea. I think
it'd be quite nice to do something just to keep that. And that it's sort of like you said, it's such good fun still getting ones. Do you go for the really hard ones anymore? You two, I'm the worst.
Depends on the game. If it's a good game, I will do everything to get every single achievement. But if the game didn't draw me in, I'm not going to waste time grinding for an achievement. Because some achievements can take upwards of hundreds of hours, especially on Gears of War. Where you've got to get so many medals and certain kills in certain ways on certain maps. It can take forever.
Do you remember one of the Ghost Recon ones? I think we chatted about this first of all. Do you remember the Ghost Recon, the first one was on the 360, and one of the achievements was get number 1 on the world leaderboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
there were quite a few games in the early days. There were quite a few games that had that kind of get top 10 in the world or top 1 in the world.
Yeah, you had to earn it.
And then developers kind of started learning how to use it as a selling tool, really, because
definitely.
Things like Avatar. Who would have bought Avatar without
that was the game that got me into achievements. Avatar. We, a few of the people that I played with on FIFA, we shared it around. One person bought it and then sent it to each other. And that was my first 1,000 Gamerscore.
Just explain what you had to do for people that don't know.
You had to press the B button 50 times.
Wow.
That was basically it.
For 1,000 Gamerscore.
Yeah. It took all of 2 minutes. Unless you didn't know what you were doing and tried to play the game properly, like me. But still, I got there in the end.
Yeah. Do you know what my first 1,000 Gamerscore was?
Oh. Was it a walking sim?
No, that's now. King Kong. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
On the 360?
Yeah.
You just had to get through the game, really. That was it. You got 1,000. There's nothing special. Yeah. Wow.
No, it's interesting how it's all kind of evolved and whatever, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think they do need something now. It does. I do think, for me and you, Neil, it's just meaningless really now, isn't it? You're sort of doing it, and it's great to see them pop up, whether it's 210,000 or 280,000, doesn't mean anything at all.
No, that means nothing to me. But like I say, I do like looking at the leaderboards, the monthly leaderboards occasionally, just to see if I'm above James, really. And it gets to the 28th of the month. You think, what can I play just to get 100 points more than him? And then I take a screenshot and I might send it to him just to annoy him.
That's funny because that's never happened. I'm always ahead.
It'll happen one day.
So if you've got any achievement stories or the hardest achievement you ever looked for, or the more hours you put into getting achievements, let us know. Always on our Twitter, on our YouTube site. And that would be great to hear that, actually. What's the hardest achievement that people have done, put the hours in for?
What's the one that you've kind of worked most towards, James? I won't ask you, Gareth, because...
What? I might have worked really hard.
Gareth, worked really hard towards an achievement. Which one is it?
I think it might be The Simpsons when I just have to turn the game on. That was it.
Okay.
That was it. What about you, James?
I did a look at my most difficult achievements the other day. As in, what achievements people haven't got that I've got. And one of them was the one we got, Neil. Overlord. The really terrible Overlord. We played.
Yeah.
And we got all the upgrades and we grinded that, didn't we, to hell?
I remember doing that now, yeah.
Yeah. That was hard. Because the game wasn't great.
No.
But we did it, and we got the most difficult achievements on there.
Oh, okay.
And so there aren't many people that got that one, is that right?
Not compared to my other achievements, yeah. It's quite hard to get that one. You're in good company. Finally.
Yes. Yeah, just me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, because nobody else played it, did they? Because
Exactly. We
They
just
played it for about 5 minutes, realised it was crap, and then couldn't be bothered anymore. Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to games we're looking forward to next week.
None.
No, come on.
You can't say that every
You can't
week.
say that every week. There must be games coming out.
I don't look forward to games. It's disappointing when you look forward
Films,
to them.
TV, anything. What about you? Neil? You must have something.
Darksiders Genesis is out tomorrow, or by the time this podcast goes live, out today. Looking forward to that.
We played that, didn't we?
We did play at
Yeah,
EGX, and I liked the change from, the other Darksiders games to like a top-down Diablo-style type thing.
It was a game that we played, and I thought, oh, this is boring. And then a minute later, it just hooked you, and got you more involved. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, until we got stuck and had to ask the lady how to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you say just press start.
No, she didn't have a clue either. She was one of the developers and she didn't know. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That'd be cool. There's also a very strange little game coming out called Bunny Parking. Kind of weirdly looking forward to that.
Right.
Perhaps I shouldn't be, but I am. It's like do you remember that little kind of board game thing called Rush Hour or Traffic Jam or something like that, where you have to move a car out of a box and you've got other cars in the way?
I do. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that.
And you're reviewing that, aren't you, James?
Apparently so, yeah.
James is reviewing it.
I'm not going to spoil any of it, but yeah.
Good.
Can't wait for you all to read that one.
Yeah, good.
Maybe I shouldn't be looking forward to it then. Is that what you're saying?
Just don't get your hopes up.
Okay.
So, James, you've got nothing to look forward to next week.
No, apart from Parasite.
Apart from Parasite,
That's
with
it.
your feedback.
Yeah.
There's a drone game coming out. What's it called? Drones
Oh, there is. There's
Champions League?
DCL, the game. Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by that. I don't know why I'm intrigued by that, but it's quite a high price, $34.99, isn't it? And going in quite hard, I think, for something that's an unknown.
Well, THQ Nordic are behind it, and you're basically racing drones. So you're into the drone racing leagues, which when I first heard about it, it got announced on the same day as another drone game that I can't remember the name of. And then this one's coming out next week, and then the other one's coming out later in the year. But that kind of got me thinking, why have we not had any drone games previously? Because, drones have been quite a big thing for, 2 or 3 years now, maybe?
Well,
At least, aren't they?
We've had them in games, as
You've had them in like the Division and stuff like that.
and
haven't you?
Watch Dogs 2 had them as little sub games and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you haven't
But
had a full
not one that's kind of been focused fully on just that.
Yeah.
And I think it looks quite cool. There's a video going around, so have a watch of that. That looks pretty good.
Okay, good. Only other thing I'm looking forward to is a new series coming out, I think, next Friday on Amazon, which I've talked about before, called Hunters, and it stars Al Pacino in this kind of alternate universe set in the 70s, and all the Nazis from World War II are setting up again in America the Fourth Reich, and he puts together a team of Nazi hunters. It looks good for some reason. It looks interesting. It almost looks a bit like Inglourious Bastards, the Tarantino film. That kind of like alternate reality kind of madness. It just something about it appeals to me. So I'll be watching that and reporting back maybe. Yeah.
That's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime. Yeah. So there you go. Right, you two. Thank you very much. We've gone way over time.
Right, you should have kept us in check.
You should have. Yeah.
Oh dear.
He only pushed us along once. I can't believe it. Normally it's at least 5 times.
We won't
Within the first 10 minutes.
We won't see you next week, will we, Neil? I don't think. We've got Richard next week.
Well, Richard might turn up,
We might see. What happens?
Yeah.
But thank you very much. And where can we find you, James? Where can we get hold of you?
On Twitter at OKDUKO, and the same Instagram.
And Neil?
I'm mostly on Instagram at Neil363. But like I say, every week, if you follow the site on the Xbox Hub, just search for the Xbox Hub on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google it, find the site. There's a few of us that pick it all up, and we'll
Great.
get chatting.
Good.
Any thoughts, comments, anything like that? Stick it in the comments on the YouTube video for this podcast, or just hit us up on the site, and that'd be cool.
Great. Thank you very much, gents, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.